All right, so today, when we get started here in a minute, we are going to focus in on some one arm movements under high tension. And part of the reason I like to do that is it is a little bit, it allows us to be a little bit more form focused. We did something kind of similar about a month ago, I guess. But what we do is we focus on just one arm. And when we put that one arm under high tension, it really forces your body to get into that position. And one of the things we've talked about is trying to get on top of that pull. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into the main set. But we'll start with our typical warm up. We'll get into a preset first. And then we'll get going on that main set again, where we're going to focus really more on form, but with high tension to kind of force that form a little bit. So let's get started. Okay. All right. I think you've been on this before with me. You know the drill. We'll just start shaking the arms out here a little bit. Try to feel the stretch across the chest as you come out and open. And then squeeze a little in the front just to get those shoulder blades together. And at the same time, we're getting those shoulder joints moving a little bit as well. All right. Now get the spine loose and just do some twisting this way. And just let the arms swing a little so they're ready to go. Okay. All right. Let's start with our left arm, nice big circles, big range of motion. As we talk about, make sure you're standing up tall. Feel that open up across the chest through here, the front of the shoulder. And again, close to your body as you can. And it doesn't have to be fast, just nice and slow. Loosen it up. And then we'll switch right over to the other side. Same direction. Try not to twist too much. Now let's throw both arms in. See if you can get that little backstroke motion going. Why not? Feel that area cross, open up, something a little different. All right, now let's go left arm forward now. And this is one where I tend to bend over a little as I start swinging, so make sure you're standing up nice and tall. Forward. And we'll go to the other arm. Again, same thing when we're going forward, nice big range of motion, arm is straight, just hitting all the hands on the clock, straight up and around. Try not to be too far outside of your shoulder, all the way around that circle. Let's do the same thing on this side. It's gonna feel funky. It's like a Janet Evans freestyle stroke. If you remember Janet Evans with her windmill, you see some of the sprinters going. Just loosen it up. Why not? All right, let's shake again before we start doing some more double arm stuff. Give the shoulders a little break. Now let's go forward again, both arms now. And we can add a little speed through the bottom, a little slower up top, because up top we're really trying to squeeze those shoulder blades and stretch out all the way across the chest as we come over. Once you're super flexible, a little bit harder to hit that whole circle this time around. All right, let's switch reverse now. Really come through and open it up over the top. Now that we're starting to feel it in the shoulders and it's getting a little tight, we'll go right up into our streamline. Squeeze the ears and feel nice and tall. You can get up on your tiptoes there, stretch it out, really elongate yourself in the spine. And then we'll do our dip to one side and our dip to the other side. We'll come back to the middle and we'll do our alternating coordination. So go one back, one forward, and then switch to the opposite. It's always fun to see how this goes for some people. We'll do that a couple times. And right back up into that streamline again and stretch. You can kind of on your own wiggle around a little, move, do a little circular motion, but stretch, elongate, and feel big and tall. And we'll do one more time, alternating those swings from side to side. And then we'll shake it out. All right. So on our preset today, we're going to go back to working on just the catch. As I said, today's going to be a little bit more form focused. Grab mine here. If you were on, maybe I guess it was last week at this one, I managed to snap my bands right in front of you all. I finally got my new ones in the mail. A little tighter than my old ones, but that's all right. So anyway, we're going to start today. What we're going to be doing in this pre is we're going to focus one arm at a time. So we're going to start out going 15 seconds, one arm only pull, where the elbow stays still, hand drops right down, nice straight wrist right through here. So it's just the catch portion. Elbow, my elbow here is pointing towards you, just the catch for 15 seconds. Then from that, we'll go into 15 seconds of the full pull. You don't need to be any faster on that. You don't have to add any tension. So it's just we're going to practice the catch and then integrate it into a full stroke. We're going to do that right arm. We're going to do that left arm. And we'll mix in some other stuff there as well. All right, so we're going to go 15 seconds, just your right arm, just the catch, right into 15 seconds, right arm, full pull. And we'll take a short break before switching arms. So we'll get started in about 10 to 15 seconds here as people are getting on their cords. It's going to be right arm only, 15 seconds, just the catch portion, and then I'll give you the cue, and then it's the next 15 seconds, we're pulling all the way through the back. We'll get started here in 5 seconds. Okay, and go. 15 seconds, right arm, just the catch. Don't pull that elbow back. Don't let it get up above your shoulder. Just dropping the hands down. Excellent. Okay, and now the full pull, all the way back. All the way back through. So we still keep the exact same motion we had when it was catch only. The only difference is now we just carry it all the way through the back. Okay, and a short rest here. Excellent. Now we're going to switch to the left arm. Left arm only, same thing. Just the catch. Don't let the hand get ahead of the elbow, but just the catch, and then the full stroke. We'll start in 5 seconds. And go. This is left arm only, just the catch. Try not to bring your elbow back. Elbow should be relatively stable here as we're doing just the catch. Okay, and now the full pull, all the way back through. All the way back through. Excellent. So the front part of that should be exactly what we were doing with catch only, and then we just continue it after we get the catch all the way through the back. Okay, and rest. All right, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Grab my bands here. So for this next thing, what we're going to do is we are going to integrate those two things. This is going to feel a little funky, but what we want to do, I'm going to move this here, is now we're going to go right arm catch only, left arm catch only. We're going to alternate those two for 15 seconds, and then we're going to go right into full pulls for 15 seconds. But notice, again, elbow stays still. It doesn't come up as I pull back, and it doesn't go past my shoulder. So it stays right here until I get to this point, and then I push back all the way through. And again, you want to have a nice flat back, nice and straight through the end there. So it's going to be 15 seconds catch only, alternating, and then 15 seconds right into the full pull. All right, get started in 5 seconds here. 15 seconds, catch only, alternating arms, and go. Good, just that catch, just the top portion. So you're just kind of alternating with some elbow bends, essentially. Okay, and now full pull, just like you're swimming, all the way through the back, nice straight arm. See, we've got some new people, which is nice today. So if you're doing this standing, you want to try to have your back parallel to the floor. So we really want to have a big bend at the waist. And rest. Excellent. All right, right now, what we're going to do is we are going to do some double arm. We're going to do 30 seconds of double arm pull. Now, for this one, I want you to add a little bit of tension, not a lot, just a little bit, more than what you had there. And we're just going to kind of work our way through 30 seconds of double arm, nothing crazy, doesn't have to be a high tempo, just getting the shoulders warmed up. We're gonna go in 5 seconds. So double arm, both arms at the same time is what that means. And go. 30 seconds. Don't forget what we were just working on with that catch at the top. Let those arms drive down, almost try to get on top of that stroke and then push all the way through the back. So we have a little bit more tension on these than what we had on the one arm stuff, but not crazy. We're still getting warmed up here. But adding a little tension to help with that warm up. Okay, and rest. Excellent. All right, so to finish off our preset, we're gonna go through that whole thing one more time, and then we'll get into our main set today. So it's, again, we're gonna start right back at the beginning, where it's gonna be right arm only, 15 seconds just the catch, right into 15 seconds of the full pull all the way through the back. All right, we're gonna go in 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. We're gonna start right arm only, just the catch, and go. Just the catch portion. Really focus on what you're doing. Don't be afraid to look at your computer screen if you can see your video. Check out what you're doing and make sure it's looking okay. Okay, and now the full pull all the way through, and I'll try to check in on people as best I can here. Now the full pull all the way through the back. Again, now this is all form, so check out your form. So much easier on dry land to feel what you're doing and see what you're doing. Okay, and rest. Excellent. All right, short rest here, and we're gonna switch to the other arm. So now it's left arm only, just the catch. And go, just the catch, left arm only. So elbow stationary, just drop those hands down. Try to really feel what you're doing. Okay, and full pull now, all the way through the back. And if you haven't joined us before, that's one of the things I talk about a lot, is it's much easier to feel that type of high elbow catch, high vertical forearm, when we're doing it in dry land as opposed to water. So we really want to practice that here while we've got that opportunity. Okay, and rest. All right, short rest here, and now we are going to be doing 15 seconds alternating arms, just the catch, right into 15 seconds of alternating full pulls. So we're going to start out alternating arms, just the catch. Start in 5 seconds. And begin. Just the catch, alternating arms now though. No need to rush this. Still trying to feel that top portion of the stroke, that catch portion. Okay, and now the full stroke all the way through. We're just adding on the back end. The front, the catch should look exactly the same as when we're focusing on that solely, and now we're just adding that little push through the back. Okay, and rest. All right, we'll take a short rest here, about 20 seconds, and now we're gonna do 30 seconds of double arm pull, so both arms at the same time. I want you again to add some more tension, even more tension than what you had the first time we did the double arm. Still nothing crazy, nothing too heavy, nothing too hard, just a little more tension to help get warmed up and get your shoulders ready to go. Okay, we're gonna go in 5 seconds. We have 30 seconds of double arm. And go. A little more tension now. Pulling all the way through the back. We're just finishing up our warm up and getting ready for our main set here. Now, still focusing on the catch. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over today. Really want to focus on that top portion of the stroke. Okay, and rest. All right, when you guys drop the bands, grab some water, and we will get ready for the main part here, our main set. And as I said, we're gonna focus on some single arm only under high tension. We're gonna mix that with some alternating arms, a little more tension, trying to carry over that great technique into some alternating swimming. And then we're gonna top it off with some double arm. Again, trying to get on top of the stroke and a little bit more power. So let me grab mine. I'll walk through it here. Put it here so I can get back a little bit. All right, so as I said, when we do high power stuff. I've mentioned this before with double arm. Sometimes it's easier to do this standing than on the bench, because when you have it under high power, you really have to kind of put your butt into it, I guess, and lean back and really kind of push forward with the feet to get that high tension. If you're on the bench and you're laid out flat and you've got that high tension, you're just going to feel like you're getting pulled off the front of it the whole time. So I find this, if you want to try it on the bench, go for it. I find it a little bit easier with high tension stuff standing. So when you have that high tension, really kind of sit back on it, allow that tension to pull your shoulders forward a little bit. And what that does is if your shoulders are being pulled forward, if we're doing one arm at a time, it really helps you force that elbow up, because it's much harder under high tension to pull back this way as opposed to this way. If you get that elbow high under high tension and just right through the back. It's that high tension here, right through. And you can almost see how my elbow comes up, my shoulder rotates, and I get on top, what we call getting on top of the stroke, and then push through the back. Now, one thing I say all the time, when I say high tension, I want you to have as much tension as you can, but still be able to finish your pull here. If you're finishing here, you've got too much tension. You still want to be able to finish all the way through the back, right through there. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to do 20 seconds, right arm only, super high tension. Really focusing on form. You don't need to have a high tempo. As a matter of fact, I'd rather you slow this down. So slow it down so you can really feel what you're doing and feel that elbow come up, and then push that hand behind you. So it's going to be 20 seconds right arm only under high tension. Right into 20 seconds of left arm only high tension. Then what I want you to do is take a step forward, less tension, and we're going to do 20 seconds right into it of alternating. Now, when we get into the alternating ones, you can have a little bit higher tempo, but try to carry that form into it. Now, we're going to have higher tempo. Should be easier to do because we're going to have less tension. So it's high tension, right arm only, slow, perfect form. High tension, left arm only, slow, perfect form. Take a step forward so you have less tension for 20 seconds straight. Now we're alternating with a little bit more tempo, but that same perfect form. All right. So hopefully that didn't make that too confusing for everybody. But we'll get going in about 10 seconds here. Again, it's 20 seconds, right arm only, high tension, slow with perfect form. Okay, and begin. So just your right arm. Make sure you're still finishing all the way through the back, but use that tension. Use that pull and that force to force your elbow up and your hand down, and so as a way for you to kind of get on top of the stroke. Pull all the way through on these, all the way through, right arm only. And now switch to your left arm. Switch to the left arm now. Same high tension, slow and deliberate with great technique, a great stroke here, all the way through. Good. High tension on this. We use that tension to our advantage to help force that high elbow. Okay, now let's take a step forward, less tension, and we're alternating now. Just like you're swimming, alternating. Should be less tension, so it should be a little bit easier, but keep that form great. You can add a little tempo here, make it a little faster. And rest. Excellent. Excellent. We'll take a little rest here. Whew, so we should be feeling it at the end there. You know, we have that high tension with just one arm, that high tension with the other. We ease up a little bit, but by increasing the tempo, the work stays up, the effort stays up, and it still gets hard. And as we get fatigued, I mean, it's a minute straight, but as we get to the fatigue part of that towards the end, that's when we really want to be emphasizing and remembering that nice high elbow catch at the beginning. All right, we're going to transition now into some double arm. So both arms at the same time. Let me grab my cords again here. Again, I like the double arm because when I talk about that getting on top of your stroke feel, it's a little bit easier to feel it if you can kind of get both arms up. You rotate your shoulders, get on top of it, and then push through all the way. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a minute straight, and we're going to split that up into 3 times 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds, I want a little bit less tension. So we're going to start at a harder effort for the first 20 seconds. We'll give it like a 90% type effort, okay? So that kind of on a RPE scale, maybe like an 8. So a harder effort for 20 seconds. The second 20 seconds, scoot forward, a little bit easier, maybe about 80%. And then the last 20 seconds, even easier, about 70%. So we kind of have a decreasing effort here as we work our way through it. But we're gonna get going in about 10 seconds here. Now, with this double arm, we're still focusing on that catch part and trying to, as I say, get up on top of your stroke. Okay, and go. So this first 20 seconds is the highest tension out of the full minute, but a 90% type effort. Force that pull through the back, past your hips, nice straight arm. Okay, and now a little bit easier. So scoot forward if you're standing, a little bit less tension. We're about an 80% type effort now. So keeping that double arm, pushing right through the back. 5 more seconds at this type of effort. Okay, last 20, scoot forward again, a little less tension now. You can increase the tempo a little bit, but still focus on that front part. I know the tension is lightening, it's getting easier, but we're almost a minute into this, so you're gonna start feeling it a little bit more. 5 more seconds. And rest. Excellent. All right, we'll take a little break here, and we're gonna go through that whole thing again. I'm gonna go through that 2 more times is our goal here. So again, we're focusing on form, we're focusing on that catch right up on top. And when we get going, we're gonna start right back at the beginning with that 20 seconds of high tension right arm only, 20 seconds high tension left arm only, right into 40 seconds, less tension, higher tempo, and alternating. And let's see, we'll get started in about 20 seconds here. 20 seconds, we'll get rolling. We're gonna go right into 20 seconds, high tension, right arm only. Try to anchor your body, keep everything nice and stable, stable head position, stable hips, stable core. I'm gonna go in 5 seconds. And go. Right arm only, high tension, full pull all the way through. Slow and form focus. Really watch what you're doing with that arm and that pull, particularly on the catch. Okay, switch arms, other arm, left arm now. This is our opportunity to use that tension to force that elbow up. That vertical forearm, and then push all the way through the back. 5 more seconds of this one. Okay, now less tension, alternating, just like you're swimming. A little bit less tension, but alternating just like you're swimming. Pulling all the way through the back. You can have a little more tempo on this one, but we still want to focus on that front part. Because as we've talked about, tempo, we've got 20 more seconds. Tempo is not just moving your arms faster, but it's accelerating through your stroke quicker. So we still have that catch, but then you push harder through the back end. 10 more seconds. Okay, and rest. Excellent. Okay, we have a little rest here, and then we get into our double arm. It's a 1 minute straight of double arm, 20 seconds at about 90% effort, right into 20 seconds at about an 80% effort, right into 20 seconds at about a 70% effort. Using, again, the tension and now the double arm, we can really emphasize that high elbow and trying to rotate those shoulders over as we get on top of our stroke. We're gonna go in 15 seconds. Okay, we start out with that first 20 seconds, highest tension out of the whole minute. It's gonna be at about a 90% effort. We're gonna go in 5. And go. Here we go. 20 seconds straight, double arm, same time, pushing all the way through the back. Really emphasize that push through the hips. We're about a 90% type effort here. Okay, a little scoot forward, easing up on the tension. This should be a little bit easier now, like 80%. Still keep that tempo up and still focusing on the front end of that catch. With double arm, sometimes, as I said, it's a little easier to get over the top of that stroke. So let's work on that. Okay, a little scoot forward, a little easier. Last 20 seconds. Push all the way through the back. As we're getting tired here, check your head position, nice and neutral. Should be like you're wearing a snorkel, not too high, but don't be burying your chin into your chest right now. 5 more seconds. And rest. All right, we'll take our break here, a little elongated break in between before we get going on another round. Excellent. Put the towel off, grab some water. Stretch those arms too. I know we start to feel it right behind that shoulder there, into the lat a little bit. Stretch that out across your body is a great way. Right through there. Get it on the other side. Swing the arms out a little bit. Try to stay loose. Okay, we will get going in about 30 seconds. We're going to go through that again. And again, starting off with 20 seconds, that high tension, right arm only. Again, slow and deliberate, focusing on that form. Great time to take a peek at yourself in a mirror, on the screen. Really take a look at what you're doing, because we want to take what we're doing with these stretch cords, and this has got to translate to the water. So that's our goal here. Okay, we're going to get going in 10 seconds, a little longer than I said, but it's all right. We've got 20 seconds straight, high tension, right arm only. We're going to go in 5. And go. Right arm only, high tension, all the way through. Use that tension to force that nice high elbow at the front. Excellent. Okay, switch arms, left arm only now, left arm only. All the way through the back, and this is super high tension, but if you can't finish your stroke, then it's too much tension. Okay, scoot forward now. Scoot forward, alternating, less tension, higher tempo, same great form. Alternating like you're swimming. Should be a little bit easier, but the tempo comes up and the form stays the same. Still pushing through the hips. Got 20 more seconds. This is where, again, this is where the elbow starts to drop. So let's take a little form check on the top end of that stroke. Excellent. Got 5 more seconds. And rest. All right. So we have our little rest here before we get into our double arm portion. We're going about 30 seconds. We have that 1 minute of double arm pulls. 20 seconds at 90%, 20 seconds at 80, 20 seconds at 70. So as we get going and it starts to hurt more, we try to make it a little bit easier with a little bit less tension. Okay, we're going to go in 10 seconds. Off in 5. Okay, and go. This first 20 seconds, it's the hardest of the minute. Higher tension, 90% effort. Still focusing on that top end catch. Okay, scoot forward a little bit. It's a little bit easier now, like 80%, just slightly less tension. Should allow you to get a little bit of relief and also help you force through the end of that stroke a little bit more. And accelerate past that hip. Okay, and scoot forward again. Last 20 seconds. This would be the easiest of the full minute here, but we've been going for almost a full minute, so it's going to start to get tiring. So don't let the form fall apart. Got 5 more seconds. And rest. Excellent. All right. Well, you know what? Let's take a little rest. Stretch it out. Hopefully everybody's feeling okay. We got through that. We stuck to our mostly half hour today, which was good. Everybody's feeling all right after that. So we talked a little bit about that catch and that form. So if anyone's got any questions on that end about what we were doing, why we're doing it, how that translates to the pool or the open water or swimming in general, as always, let's open it up and any questions. Happy to answer them.
I have a quick question. One of my friends told me a cue to think about when you're in the water to keep that high elbow at the end is kind of like you're pushing your hand kind of up and away a little bit. Do you agree with that? Is that a good like mental cue to use?
Yes, a little bit. What I like to think, and this is one of the things I think about when I'm swimming sometimes, and I'll actually do some drills that emphasize this, is it's almost like I'm trying to flick the water, and I don't want this motion, but that helps me push past through that. So what I sometimes do is I'll do a drill when I'm swimming. I'll come through and I'll flick it up, and I'll have like an overemphasis of a kind of a windmill or a straight arm, but it helps to finish the stroke all the way through. So you get there and it kind of flicks it up into here. And it's just that little push at the end. And it kind of emphasizes that. So to an extent, yes, there's different cues to that and it feels a little funky, but what happens is particularly when we're working on tempo, when we say go faster, what usually happens is people just do shorter strokes. So they tend to lose a little bit of that reach in the front and then they end up finishing their stroke here and coming up, because you're trying to move your arms faster. So even when the tempo goes up and your arms are going faster, we still want to emphasize that shoulder pushing forward, and we still want to get to this position all the way through the back. And a lot of the times, when you're swimming, we end up add that rotation, so the hips move, and I try to almost think my hand is pushing my hip out of the way as I kind of scoot that water right up the back. So hopefully that helps. All right, any other questions?
And maybe along the similar lines. So like I've heard, so trying to keep your fingertips pointed to the bottom of the pool, for example, so that you've got your full palm and like forearm surface area.
Mm-hmm.
At the back of the stroke, how critical is that? Because like if I'm focusing on like carrying through, it's less of that and like, I don't know, overthinking it there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that does tie in really well, because what we talk about when we're swimming, and part of the reason we have that high elbow catch up front, is when we're pulling through the water, our paddle wants to be fingertips to elbow. So this is what we want to be pulling water with. If you're dropping your elbow, all you're doing is pulling with your hand, and you're not going to be getting as much surface area covered. So we try to take advantage of this whole piece right here to get on top of it. Now, as we're pulling through the stroke, right, as we get to here, that elbow kind of stays on my body, but at this point, I'm starting to lose that, and that's where we see the acceleration. So we still want to keep that last little push with the hand through the end, but that's where we accelerate through that part to get back up to here. So we don't want to rush this when the tempo comes up, but we want to push accelerating through the back end. But yeah, try to keep that hand, as you said, the fingertips stay down. At this point, the last little bit of stroke, that's all that's pushing the water is just your hand. We kind of lose the rest of that paddle. So yeah, that's why we kind of emphasize that little flick, is it helps kind of force those fingertips down and then through the end or through the back.
Perfect, thanks.
Yep.
I have a question on that note, actually. So especially like I'm new to like swim band, and especially like at the end of the stroke, it's kind of hard to feel the force like as I go like all the way to the end. Like, do you have any tips on that part?
With the swim bands?
Yeah, swim bands.
Do you have the handle, or do you have a paddle?
I have a paddle.
Yeah, so the paddle makes it a little bit easier in the sense that you need to, same thing. If you keep the fingertips pointing down, you know that if the paddle, if you have it flat one way or flat the other way, it's going to be hard to keep that pressure on it. So the paddle kind of forces your hand and your fingertips down all the way through the back, because if you get to the back end here, I try to think the last little thing I do is right at the end, then my fingertips come up and then it immediately comes forward. It finishes there, because as soon as I get to this position, I can't hold the band very well because I've lost that surface area that's really pushing it back. So as soon as I get to here, I can already feel it start to come back. So just really emphasize on keeping the pressure on that paddle with your fingertips down all the way through the back. And then that last little bit is that flick and it comes forward. So hopefully that will help you.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was feeling at the end. Like I stopped feeling the feeling force at the end. So
yeah, because if you end your stroke too soon and your hand kind of goes up one way or the other and that paddle gets flat, it's gonna pull you right back.
got it. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you all showing up and sticking with this. And we'll be back on Sunday if anyone wants to join in.